welcome back to a chapter day. Happy Tuesday. Today we're going to be reading Job chapter 20. And the last account we heard of the dialogue. I shouldn't call it a dialogue. I think I mentioned the word narrative. Narrative is when someone is telling the story. But this here is like a conversation. I can't remember the name of it. Terrible. Okay, but anyway, Job was the last person to have spoken, and he was talking to his friends about their treatment of him in his predicament. They weren't treating him fairly. They were accusing him, and also he acknowledged that his family and friends are treating him like a stranger, and that even though with all of this, he knows his Redeemer lives, and that he shall stand on earth on the latter day in his clean flesh, and he will see God. So, let's go on with chapter 20. Then answered Zophar the Naamathite and said, Therefore do my thoughts cause me to answer, and for this I make haste. I have heard the check of my reproach, and the spirit of my understanding causeth me to answer. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment? Wow, my gosh. They don't cease, do they? So after what Job said a little while ago, in his speech, here comes one of his friends, Zophar, to rebut what Job just said. Verse 6. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, Where is he? He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. For his children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. So what Job is saying is that, not Job, but Zophar, is that, you know what? No matter what you say, Job, wickedness only triumphs for a while. In other words, Job had his time, but now he's getting recompense. The truth is being shown. And like I said, God already knows Job. God knows the righteousness of Job. These men are just judging Job based on maybe their own feelings. I'm saying sometimes in adversity, maybe that's why God allows it, to show you who your real friends are. Okay, verse 11. His bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth. Yet his meat in his bowels is turned, it is the gall of asps within him. He hath swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. God shall cast them out of his belly. So in other words, Job's time has reached. His wickedness has come to judgment, and this is the recompense of his reward. Verse 16. He shall suck the poison of asps, the viper's tongue shall slay him. He shall not see the rivers, the brooks, the floods of honey and butter. That which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein. Because he hath oppressed and forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away an house which he built not. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. All right. So Job's friends, they said, your friends are the ones who can say the things about you because they've been with you most closely with you, and they know you more. And this is what, sometimes, who was it? It's like in the New Testament, there's a parable, I believe, about this rich man who, before he went out across country somewhere, he gave his servants certain talents, and the one he gave the least to, when the man came back and was asking what was done with them, That servant said, you know what? I know you're a hard man. You take things that don't belong to you. You reap what you didn't. You sow what you reap what you didn't sow. And I didn't want to cross threads you. So that's why I took your talents and hid it in the ground. And he was told, you know what? You're a slothful servant. Get away from me. Now, the intent of that story may have been different from what is happening with Job. But what I'm saying is, sometimes people judge you very harshly. They judge your actions totally opposite to what really the intent of them were. And this is what's happening here with his friend, who is telling him all of these terrible things. You have oppressed the poor. You have taken things that were not yours. Okay? You didn't give to the poor. You oppress the needy. Wickedness. You have a sweet, you can speak nice words, but you're really a wicked person. This is what he's telling Job. And it just reminded me of that. You know, sometimes even though people smile with you, they have a very harsh, critical way of seeing you. And you think you're cool with them. Okay, verse 16. He shall suck the poison of asps, the viper's tongue shall slay him. Okay, I read all of that. So let's come down to verse 21. There shall none of his meat be left, therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Which is what is happening to Job. So in his eyes, this is Job's, I don't want to say reward. Reward is for something good. This is Job's judgment from God. Verse 23. When he is about to fill his belly, God shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and cometh out of the body. Yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. All darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. The heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. My gosh. What wonderful, friends. Verse 28. The increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. This is the portion of a wicked man from God, and the heritage appointed unto him by God. He told him. I mean, after all of that, I would have asked them to leave. Honestly. I think after their first little monologues to Job, I would have asked them to leave, because you're going through a rough situation, and the last thing you want are people rubbing salt in your wounds, metaphorically. But that's what they're doing. They've seen what happened to Job, and they are making claims on Job's character based on what they've seen. So what were they thinking when he was prospering? Did they think he was a good and righteous man when he was prospering? Or did they think what they're thinking now, and now that they're seeing what they consider to be proof, they are verbalizing it? But anyway, God knows. And Job knows. That's the main thing. God knows and Job knows. So, that's the end of chapter 20. So, until our next reading. And I'm going to check quickly to see how long chapter 21 is. Yes, it's a good length. So, I'll leave it for the next day. I won't read it today. Thank you all once again for listening, commenting if you have any, reading along, getting your Bible and read after. It's all good. But keep on listening until, because that's how our faith grows. Okay? Take care. Bye.